HOTDOGS. Oh, hey, startled me. Didn't see you there. What's new with you guys? So it's been a pretty exciting couple weeks, couple months, and I mean, frankly, I guess a couple years if you want to get technical. So let me catch you up as to what's going on here. So I am officially home from the 2025 Solo Nationals, and I'm going to cover that event and some of the things that happened at that event here in a little bit. But I want to kind of go back and start at really the beginning of my season. So I took all of last year off working on stuff at the house and working on the car and just other life things getting in the way. And I had hoped to do a lot more events this year, but it just didn't pan out. So the first event I did was a BMC event at Ripken Stadium. I think I've already posted information up about that. Awesome local group to run with, and I love getting an opportunity to run there. It's not far from my house, and it's a reasonably sized course for a car as big as this. So I was really happy to do that one, get out there. The one you haven't seen though is the Cone Killer Classic put on by the Central Pennsylvania region out at the Mid-State Airport. That event is really near and dear to my heart. Friend of ours, Wade Chamberlain, he loved going to that event and always pushed and wanted us to be there. And when we were out racing in Cumberland back in the day, I never took the opportunity to go out there. Since he passed, Team Zip Tie and kind of our circle of friends, we try to go to the Cone Killer Classic every year as a way to reunite with each other and catch up and in a way just remember our friend while we're out there. And so took the Camaro out there, ran it both days. On the first day, it was awesome. Had a great competition from the Latshaws, who are local Sea Prepared friends of mine, and then also Pat with his Camaro. This is what two Sea Prepared drivers look like when the other guys run in different classes. And I'm dropping my phone because my hand's wet. How you feeling, Pat?
Feeling good.
Car good?
I mean, it got off the trailer, so
yeah,
we did that.
That's a CP.
It's always a start.
CP win.
Yep.
Pat did me the honor of making sure that my Camaro wasn't the CP Camaro that caught fire in the grid. That Sea Prepared life. You leave your oil there.
Yeah, you can see the trail.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the puddles. The other one's 2 spots over.
You probably use that good oil too, don't you?
Yeah, I use the good synthetic. So
I'll link to his video so you can hear all about that one. But we had an awesome time, and I'll show you some of the footage from that one now. Many rocks. My car.
Should I take them all off?
You don't have to take the rock. Are you going to help me out and take the rocks off?
Yeah. Could you help me with this first?
All right, so I'll make a video. You take off the rocks. Thank you.
Like his legs are like...
Yeah, I was going to say, before anybody accuses me of being a poor sport, we did try to fit you in my car.
Yeah, good job, Paul.
If I stand this way, you can see I'm very tall.
Good job, Paul, making a car that only you can fit in.
I just keep shrinking as
like
I go closer.
Tall people with these monster legs.
Oh, look at those.
Can't fit in the car. Well, you're like a slow Mike Johnson.
The slow part's right. Yeah.
So
we tried.
Yeah, we tried.
This is what happens when we run CP together.
So you can't You can't film anything after this. What I'm driving next.
Nope. Oh, what are you driving next? Got film Ford. There's sushi. And then a cat showed up.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah. It's a
Sushi.
Track.
classic.
Cat.
Road track.
Classic.
I missed the back rub talk, but this is day 2. The Cone Killer Classic. Both should get back rubs, Mikey. Much better, thank you. Had an awesome time both days at the Cone Killer. Really good competition on day 1. Day 2 was fun and we just had a blast, and it's just a really good time. So after that, it was time for my first Nationals event in really over 2 years, and that was the Finger Lakes Tour up in Seneca, I think it's Seneca Falls, New York. I was the only super repair car there, which was probably a good thing. I brought a spare set of tires with me because the tires that were on the Camaro after running at the Central Pennsylvania Cone Killer, they were a little bit used up, and I was glad I did because on day 1, I corded my tires. Let's take a look at that fastest run. So on day 2, I took the corded fronts off and I took the spare set that I had, which are not much better, but a little better, threw them on the front, and as I pulled into grid, I realized that my rears were just about to cord, so it made second day really kind of spicy. Runs on day 2, again, not fast, but I was really encouraged because the car was finally doing what I was asking it to. For a while, I've been chasing a setup issue on this car, and it seems like no matter what I do, doing the right things wouldn't fix the back of the car. I had way too much oversteer. And I kind of figured out that I've been running the wrong spring rate in the back of this car, but that's my own fault. I actually started in kind of the right ballpark on spring rates, and I kept going down in the back. And I was expecting it to fix the problem, but it exacerbated the issue. It made it way worse. And I finally figured out I'm on the bump stops. So for this Finger Lakes event, I bumped the spring rate up 150 pounds from where I was, and it gave me all the data that I needed to get ready for nationals. So I actually went even stiffer in the back. So I went up another 100 pounds from there. And if you're wondering why I'm not giving the spring rates, it's not a secret. Come talk to me privately. I don't put this stuff out on the internet because setups are different for everybody. So you want to have a conversation about it? I'll share all the information. I'm happy to. I'm just not going to put it out there because, you know, your situation may vary. Second day of the Finger Lakes, I was the only car in CP, so technically I won. And I didn't realize I was going to get one of these for that. So this is my first place trophy for being the only participant in C Prepared at the Finger Lakes. And while this felt good, it was a little bit hollow. One, I was the only car in my class. And two, I've placed at a national tour before. Now, never first place, but you know, I was the only car. But it reminded me that I had a bigger goal that I wanted to achieve. So that leads me to the 2025 SCCA Solo Nationals. I did not attend this event last year. It is very clearly one of my favorite events on the calendar. It's the biggest group of CP cars that I'll ever race against. It's the biggest group of autocrossers that you ever race against. I have a video from a couple years ago showing just how big this place is. Absolutely check that video out. If I can remember how to link it above somewhere, I'll do that. But I was in full nationals prep. Getting everything sorted with the car, setup was good, did corner balancing, everything super duper happy. I decided just before I left for the trip to change the oil, and I'm pretty glad I did. When I started the car up to warm it up and change the oil, all of a sudden I had a bunch of smoke out from under the hood. So I immediately shut things down and took a look underneath, and it turns out that the slave cylinder for my clutch gave up and just spit all its guts out. The good news is I had a spare one. So grabbed the spare one, started to put it on, but I wanted to be extra safe. So I reached out to the manufacturer that made it, Coleman Racing, not a sponsor, just a shout out to them. And they were able to rush ship me a spare one before I left for Nebraska. So that was awesome. I had all the confidence in the world, going into Nats that I would have all the spare parts that I needed. And there was a reason I was concerned about having spare parts, more than just the fact that it's a CP car. And it came down to my co-driver. JG Pasterjack from Grassroots Motorsports magazine agreed to co-drive my Camaro at the SCCA Solo Nationals, and I was totally pumped. JG's been a big friend for a long time. He did a video on Grassroots on this car going way back, and he had never run in CP before. I was excited to have the co-driver. I wanted to make sure that this car was as good as it could be for him because I wanted him to have the best experience possible. But if I'm being honest, I wanted something for myself. I have been going to Solo Nationals since 2012. Most of the time in my own car. In 2014, I believe, I drove Randy Pager's CP Camaro. The motor that's in this car right now is the motor that was in that car. And while I haven't been every year, I try to go a lot, and I've never trophied at Nationals. And it's a goal that I've always had. The folks at Nationals, especially at the upper end of any class, are the best of the best. And the folks that run at the top of C Prepared are not slouches. Even mid trophies is hard to do. I've been close, but I've never quite pulled it off. And this year, I felt really confident that this was something that I could do. And so in addition to trying to make sure JG had the best experience possible in this car, I was chasing down a trophy, and I had a good feeling about it. So I make the trip out, stopped in Chicago to see some family, which was fantastic, make my way to Lincoln, and I unload this car just as it starts to rain. But we're days away from competition. It's not gonna be a big deal. And it just kept raining for the couple days we were out there. If you've seen some of the footage from the Pro Solo, and especially the water going over the heads of the guys in carts, insane. But the weather was looking good for C Prepared. We were running Tuesday and Wednesday, third heat, everything looked promising. Practice runs were scheduled for Monday. It poured rain Monday all day till about 3:30. I had some time set aside at 5 o'clock for practice runs, and then JG had a 6 o'clock slot for his practice runs. We decided to punt on practice runs. For me, it was still a little too wet, and I wasn't going to learn much from the car, but we needed to get JG comfortable in the car. And so he took his practice runs at 6 o'clock, and it all went pretty well. It was damp, but got a feel for the car. He was able to drive it, and nothing too weird, nothing fell off. So we were good to go for the next day. It's been about 2 weeks now, so I apologize if my recollection is a little bit fuzzy, but out of the gate, the car was fast. JG was fast, he was right in the hunt, and then I took my runs and I was a little bit quicker than him, and I was right in that trophy hunt, and I was feeling really good. Second runs came around, same deal. We're just sitting really, really well. Third runs come around. Unfortunately, JG coned away his fastest run, which would have put him in the trophies. But I found myself, for the first time ever, sitting in the trophies in Sea Prepared. It was the last trophy spot, but I was sitting in them, and I was psyched and ready for day 2. Now, I know I just said I was psyched and ready for day 2, but I'm not a day 2 kind of guy. I will get into my own head, and I'm not gonna lie. I was absolutely getting into my own head sitting in the trophies. It's something I've always wanted, and I was really worried that I wasn't gonna get it, but I was determined to do the best I could, not just for me, but for JG as well. We're at Nats to have fun. Winning, that's not gonna happen, at least not for a long time for me. Trophying, that's a goal, but it's not the reason I go. I go there to see friends and extended family and just do this dumb sport with people I love. And I need to remember to keep that in mind as I went. So day 2 comes around, and just before we start running, it starts to rain. I don't have rain tires. I warned JG about this ahead of time, and he was totally fine with it. And I was fine with it leading up, but you know, it's a little different when rain is actively falling and you're looking at a set of slicks and you're sitting in the last trophy spot for the first time ever. Like, there's a lot going on, but thankfully things started to clear up. JG goes out on his first run and he sets up a solid time. The course was still a little bit damp and drying, so the car was a little bit pushy on him, but he did a great job. He put down a solid time. I went out on my first run and I drove like an idiot. Was going at a pretty decent clip through the opening section, and I was coming up on a little bit of a left-hander, and I touched the brakes while I was turning. And there's one thing this car hates, and it's braking under any sort of cornering. And I just looped the back end around. So now I've taken my first shot of 3 and knocked myself out of the trophies. Second run's come around. I try to put that aside, get JG set up for his run. He goes even faster on the next runs. So I'm really seeing what the car is capable of. And that's one of the best parts about having a co-driver. So now I've got to get a decent run down so that I can try to climb back into the trophies and maybe win one for the first time. And I go out, I put down a pretty decent run. It was conservative in a couple spots, but it was safe. And when I pulled back in, I was sitting, I believe, in 9th, with 10th being the last trophy spot. So I was pretty psyched about it. Then more times came in. And as more times came in, I slid back to 10th. And I was sitting there in 10th, waiting for my third run. Just before I took my last run, Greg comes over and he tells me, or at least I think he tells me, that I've just been knocked out of the trophies by 7/10 of a second. And if you keep up on the sport, 7/10 of a second is a lifetime. So here I am. I've been sitting in the trophies the whole time. I'm about to pull up to the line, and I need to make up almost a second. And I just don't know where I'm going to find that time. So I go out on my run. I put down a decent run. I kind of play it safe in 2 areas that I should not have played it in. And when I cross the line, I see the time, and it's not enough. I'm a little embarrassed to admit that I maybe said an expletive as I crossed the line, and might have tossed my gloves down and taken off my helmet a little heated. And then I just took a moment to calm down and remind myself that, this is supposed to be fun. And while I was disappointed, I let that take over for me. I had a great time out at Nationals. The car did all of its runs without braking. I'll get to that in a minute. JG put down a flyer of a run for his third run. Awesome time in the car. So really, yeah, it sucks. I knocked myself out of the trophies, but all things considered, it's not so bad. As I'm sitting in the line waiting to weigh the car for impound, JG comes walking up to me and he just has a giant grin on his face. And I think I might have just looked at him and said, "What are you smiling about?" And it was then that he informed me that I had trophied. I had gotten my first national trophy at Solo Nationals. That 7/10 of a second that I thought I heard Greg say was 7/100ths of a second. And while I didn't go as fast as I thought I needed to on my last run, I went fast enough. So I apologize for my language before. As it turns out, I might have trophied. I might have. I did. Thank you. Thank you, JG.
I was excited to be able to break the news to him, and I'm just really grateful for the opportunity to play with this thing.
Awesome.
It was so much fun.
Let's do it again sometime.
I would like, now that I trust the car, taking home 2 pieces of hardware next year.
I like that.
So, yeah.
That's a good plan.
Yeah.
All right. See you later. I'm still a little bit speechless thinking about it at the moment. And I know you're thinking 10th place, 10th place, who cares? And 10th place out of 31 cars. This is the best 10th place that I've ever had. And sitting in my car, I was actually feeling my watch vibrate as I was getting some messages coming in from folks who were watching back home. And I couldn't check them yet, but it was such an incredible feeling. And those of you who were back home and followed along and rooted for me and continually gave me words of love and support and encouragement, you absolutely know who you are. I love you very much, and thank you for that. It made all the difference to everything. So here it is. This is my 10th place trophy for the 2025 SCCA Solo Nationals in C Prepared. It is absolutely one of my prized possessions now. I am going to build a shelf so that people have to see this on every Teams call that I'm on. I might make a necklace for it so I can wear it to events. We'll just see how it goes. So about that broken car. Like I mentioned, the car made all of its runs for practice runs and for competition runs, and it worked flawlessly. I pulled it around to place it behind the trailer, load it in, started breaking down my camp, and when I pushed the car back to load it on the trailer, I noticed there was a puddle of fluid sitting under the car. So I had mentioned the slave cylinder failure that I had just before Nationals. Well, there's the rebuilt one. Let me try to get a focus. There we go. There's the rebuilt one that I put in place, and that had failed again after only, 16 runs. Honestly, I don't know why it failed, and I kind of don't care right now. I have a brand new one sitting on the bench over there. I'll put it in at some point. I haven't even unpacked, like everything's just everywhere right now. So at some point I'll fix the car, and I've got a list of things that I need to take care of. But for now, I'm going to return to a little bit of normal, clean up some of this stuff, finish some base molding in my house, and I've got a nice list of upgrades and improvements to this car for next year. 10th place felt good. 9th is probably going to feel even better, and I can't even imagine what 8th and above will feel like. But I'm going to try. So thanks for watching. If you're a subscriber, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following along. Thank you for the words of encouragement. Thank you to the guy in Chicago who, while I was in traffic towing this, pulled alongside, rolled down his window and yelled, "Good luck at Nats." He wasn't in an autocrossy type of car. I guess he just kind of recognized what was going on. Thank you to everyone. Thank you for watching this, and we'll see you at the next event. Look at that. It's a 3rd gen owner.
Take a vid. Take a vid.
We've got Boo and Tic Tac ready to go. Mikey and Greg, looks like Greg's up next to drive. Denise driving Tic Tac.
Maybe it'll be a little better. If you look under the seat, the bottom rail is on the
Looking good. I'm so glad I'm doing a video and not a photo.
There we go.
He's like, let me down.
I have to edit this together.
All right, is she done?
She's done.
She's done.
Edit it all together.
Sorry.